Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. It's your boy Mansa, and today we're going to be going through my Nintendo 64 collection. So I've shown off like my Switch collection. Make sure y'all check that video out. But you know, one of my favorite systems ever, a lot of people's favorite systems ever, Nintendo 64. I want to just break down some of the, you know, games that I own, controllers, stuff like that, that people probably haven't seen yet. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get notified. I upload every Sunday, and let's get right into it. So first off, we're going to start off with the system, the very dusty Nintendo 64 system. So this is, oops, hope it works after that. This is one of the originals from 1998. It was kind of like a family system slash my brother's, and I just kept it over the years. I never had the PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, so I was just playing this and like Super Nintendo all the time. Just the original gray, nothing really to see here. I used to have it plugged up, but it was just like, I don't know, it kind of takes up unnecessary space. I wasn't really playing it, so but I do plan to keep it. Just, you know, I mean, if it goes up to, you know, $1,000, something crazy, maybe I'll sell it. But you know, it's just that classic Nintendo 64 system. Then over to the controllers, we have the classic see-through purple. Man, this joystick is Super Mario 64 really destroyed a lot of people's joysticks. But yeah, and you got the memory card on the back. Like I mentioned in my top 10 favorite games video, I did have to get this memory card for a certain game on that list. Make sure you guys check that video out. I did have the gray controller, but my sister's rabbit actually chewed through the cord, so it doesn't obviously work anymore. So just left with this, but I mean, I'm the only one that will be playing it, so you know, I'm not mad at it. But Nintendo needs to do this with like the Switch again, like the see-through, like they were doing this with the Game Boy. I had the Glacier. Oh yeah, was the Glacier see-through? I don't think it was the Game Boy Advance, but yeah, they need to go back to this style for controllers and systems. All right, now let's get into the games. Now the games have been in this Air Jordan box. If you recognize this from the early 2000s. I think it was my sister's pair or something. It was like a size 6 or something. They just been in this box. Like I just kept using it to store the game. So it's a bunch of writing and all this stuff from years ago. But let's open it up and get into the games in here in no particular order. Let's see what we got. Of course, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Greatest game ever. And, you know, just if you've played like open world 3D or hub worlds, Z targeting, just all the stuff like that, like if you've seen any top 10, 50 lists, this game is always on there. So Zelda Ocarina of Time. Let's see what else we got in here. We got Banjo-Kazooie. So I actually bought this in high school because I never owned it. It first came out. So Banjo-Kazooie classic 3D platform back when Rare was just killing everything with Donkey Kong and Conker's Bad Fur Day and Diddy Kong Racing. Rare with GoldenEye, like Rare was going crazy, especially on N64. So yeah, Banjo-Kazooie classic. If you haven't played it, you can actually play it on the Xbox, especially if you have Game Pass, because they do own Rare now. Next game we got Rayman 2: The Great Escape. Now, I don't know how many people actually, I don't even know if they're showing up because it's a green cartridge, but made by Ubisoft. Rayman is originally just a regular 2D platformer, but they took it to another level with Rayman 2 with the 3D platforming, the different abilities. The story was actually decent too, but this was one of my favorite games. It is why I needed that memory card that I mentioned earlier. I got it from Blockbuster before, and then eventually convinced my mom to buy me an actual copy. So Rayman 2, classic. Next up, we got Killer Instinct. Now, I thought this was the original Killer Instinct, but it's actually Killer Instinct Gold. I did have Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo. It was a black cartridge. Unfortunately, this game doesn't work anymore. I'm not sure why. Like, I tried to play it a couple of years ago and it just like wouldn't turn on. So it was a pretty cool fighting game, you know, Jago, Orchid, Glacier, all those characters, you know, but what's his name? Saberwolf, something like that. Yeah, Killer Instinct, I think it's by Rare also. It doesn't have Rare on here, but then Xbox needs to do something with this franchise soon. Next up, we got the classic Super Smash Brothers. This was the game that started it all. So you've seen the classic commercial with them frolicking in the woods or whatever they were doing, and then they start fighting and everything. Yeah, Smash Brothers, just great concept. I mean, Nintendo's the last people you would think would make a fighting game like this, and you know, they hit it out the park. I mean, they end up making 5 or 4 more after this, and you know, the franchise hopefully continues. Now we got a lot of people's favorite game of all time. We got Super Mario 64, and if anyone's played the DS version, I recommend it. You do get to play with 4 other characters. It's a little harder to play with the stylus on the screen, but Super Mario 64 just, you know, took Mario to that 3D level. You know, that's why Nintendo 64 is so revered, because a lot of these games were brought to 3D for the first time. You know, just the hub world with Peach's Castle, everything like that is just, you know, just classic. Next up, we got another classic. So pretty much all my N64 games are like the best N64 games. Like, I don't have a lot of, I mean, I have a few BS we're about to get to, but we have GoldenEye, which just recently came out on the Switch and the Xbox. I haven't played it yet. I think it's on Game Pass and in Rare Replay, but GoldenEye was so iconic that I thought the franchise was called GoldenEye. Now it is James Bond. GoldenEye was a specific movie. So this is probably the first, like, really good video game based on a movie ever. I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but just playing multiplayer, doing the missions, you know, all the different funny modes, big head mode, slappers only, golden gun, like all that kind of stuff. It just, I mean, obviously multiplayer shooters have evolved past this game, but still classic. Now, like I said, we're going to get into what some would consider BS, but I got a Bust a Move. So this game, I think I had it on the Neo Geo Pocket as well, but yeah, Bust a Move 2 Arcade Edition. It's basically one of those classic, you know, match 3 or more, you know, 3 or more colors to each other, and then it starts flooding the other person's, you know, screen or whatever. So it's a classic little game to play, you know, nothing too crazy. Now this game, I have no idea where this came from. It might have been someone's from college, but it's called Hydro Thunder, I think. Yeah, Hydro Thunder. I thought this was like Wave Race or something, but I literally have never played it, so I can't even talk about it. Then next up, we got a lot of people's favorite Star Fox 64. Now, I'll be honest, I do not care about Star Fox. I know a lot of people like this and do a barrel roll and all that. Like, Star Fox, it just never did it for me. I don't care flying around, shooting stuff. I don't care. Space, I'm not into space. I'm not into water stuff. I'm not into a lot of people like all that stuff. I'm good. But next up we have this. This is the Namco Museum. So this is before Bandai Namco became one company. But it came with 6 games, pretty classic. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxian, Pole Position, and Dig Dug. I have no idea. I think Pole Position was a racing game. Dig Dug was pretty good. So yeah, a lot of these games are like classic arcade games that I never really played, obviously because of my age. So getting it on an N64, you know, cartridge altogether was pretty fun. And then last up, we have Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. Now this was my first Kirby game. Actually, no, I lied. I remember everybody shared the original Game Boy, the gray one, and someone had Kirby Dream Land and that one in my house. But anyway, Kirby 64, Crystal Shards, pretty fun. Again, Kirby in 3D, getting to combine powers and stuff like that. I don't know if any other game did that or has done that since this came out, but I believe this was the first, but you could combine like electricity and sword and get an electric sword, or like combine two electricities for a bigger electric attack, or like rock and dynamite, or rock and fire to make dynamite. Like it was a lot of crazy combinations you could make. So you know, Kirby definitely, I mean, I recommend it. The mini games is super fun. I used to play that all the time, you know, beat my little sister in it all the time. But yeah, so Kirby, definitely pick it up. I think it's on Nintendo Switch Online on the expansion pass, maybe, I'm not sure, but definitely check it out if you can. One game that is missing from here is Glover. So Glover is a very unique game that I feel is very underrated. I used to play a lot. It was, you know, original type of concept, 3D platformer, collectible type game, but you had to play with like, you had like a magic ball or something. I think you were like a wizard's glove or something like that, and you had to, something, I forget. But I think it's at my friend Kenny's house. Kenny, if you're watching this, give me my game back. Just kidding, but not really. I kind of do want that game back so I can play it. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Y'all let me know, what's your favorite game out of this collection? Is there a game, I mean, I don't think there's any that I missed that I need to buy for N64. I think this is pretty much the best part of it. Maybe like F-Zero or Diddy Kong Racing or some of the Mario parties, but besides that, I think I got a pretty good collection here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell. Watch some of my older videos as well. And I'll catch you on the next video.